Right, it is that time of the week. It's Free Speech Friday, brought to you in association with the Free Speech Union. You can find them at fsu.nz, and they are the champions of free speech in New Zealand. They'll make sure you have it and you keep it, and they will protect it. So ever got a problem with your free speech, fsu.nz, and you can visit them, find out what they're up to, what campaigns they're involved in. They do great work. Joining us this week to kick over the traces on what has been an interesting week, first week of the school holidays, is our good friend of the platform and sometime announcer, Tina Nixon. How are you, Tina?
Very good, Sean.
All right, and our mate Maurice Williamson from the People's Republic of Auckland City. How are you, Maurice?
Yeah, we're going to build a wall along the Bombay Hills, and Mexico's going to pay for it.
Hey, I want to kick off first, Maurice, and we got some progress on this. We had the amazing comment yesterday from Simeon Brown. He said local government New Zealand has gone woke, and he thinks it's wrong for Hastings District Council to co-opt their 17 non-elected student councillors, or badge wearers, as I prefer to call them, and put them on certain committees and give them voting rights and pay them. Now, Maurice, do you have student councillors in Auckland who you do that for?
No, we do not, and I think that Simeon Brown is on the money with this one. Look, if you want to get active in local politics, what's the age of the Gore mayor? Isn't he 21 or something? You can do it. You just got to get off your bum, go out and deliver pamphlets, go and do some street corner meetings, and say, this is, who I am. I want you to vote for me because I stand for the following. It can be done, and lots of people have done it. This idea of, we're too young, or there isn't enough of us, or we don't have enough say, so give us a seat at the table and pay us, and we'll have voting rights. Where do you draw the line?
Yeah, the thing is, Maurice, I don't think it's the badge-wearing kids who are actually pushing this. I think it's Sandra Hazelhurst and the rest of the wokesters.
Yeah, it's the wokesters, and the fact that Auckland Council, we quit our membership of local government New Zealand, and I'm proud of us for doing it, because talk about it being of no value to anybody in terms of their woke view of the world. They're just shocking. They don't represent anything that I believe voters believe in.
Now, Tina, you've been involved in local government, but would a 16-year-old Tina Nixon have been any good voting on a council committee?
She'd have been on fire. She'd have been on fire. But I'm like Maurice. I totally disagree with them being put in those positions for exactly the same reasons as Maurice has outlined. But there are people who are appointed to committees for their expertise, and you see it a lot with audit and risk committees, where you'll have someone with financial expertise who are brought on. And that is one of the arguments that they often give for Maori representatives to be on as well, because they have expertise in stuff, so they're appointed onto committees and stuff. So there is a facility for it to happen, but I just think it's, of all of the things that need to happen right at the moment, that is not it. That is not where local government's focus is, and local government commission should be disbanded. It is just beyond the pale.
Sorry, local government commission or local government New Zealand?
Local government New Zealand, sorry.
Yeah.
It is beyond the pale what it did under the Labour government in terms of sucking up to them and just becoming their delivery agent for their woke policies.
Oh, right. Well,
Totally agree.
You're not backing off on that, okay? We've got peace in our time on that instance. Let's keep talking local bodies. Amazing to hear overnight, guys, in Wellington, that some councillors at Wellington City want to instruct workers and officials not to remove pro-Palestinian graffiti around the city. So the council wants to choose which criminal acts of vandalism it will allow, given on whether or not they agree with the political views being expressed. All this comes, guys, Monday is the first anniversary of the October 7th attacks by Hamas on Israel. That's just so wackily out of line, isn't it, Maurice?
It's totally out of line. How about we just stick to our bloody knitting? Local government is there to do certain things, roads, rubbish, water, sewerage and so on. And we do it very badly across this whole country, very badly. So if we can't do that well enough, why are we now moving off into foreign affairs issues and deciding that we're going to be backing certain people on certain sides which is not anybody's role within local government. We've had a few in the Auckland Council want to have, Hamas buddy banners up and so on. I've just said absolutely not. We should be completely independent. We are a local government delivering roles and functions, and that's it. If you want to do something else, go and become a member of the Save the Fatwa movement, wherever it happens to be.
Tina?
Yeah, same. I mean, at the end of the day, art has always been an expression for protest.
Graffiti isn't art, thing. Tina. It's vandalism.
Well, no. I mean, Banksy then Banksy's graffiti.
Yeah, he is.
At the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's the same thing. Councillors don't have the time to muck around in this space. They shouldn't be there. They should be sticking to their knitting. Otherwise, we're going to end up with a jersey full of holes in one arm.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what we've got in local government at the moment.
All right. Look, you mentioned before, Tina, this issue of Maori representation because of expert knowledge on certain council committees and stuff, and I can see the logic for that.
Yep.
Can you see the logic, though, for Maori being given a special seat in the command module when it comes to our space policy?
It was a bit of a stretch for me. And as you well know, I don't do a lot of work, but I do some work for night havens and pretty interesting spaces, but and not that space. Well, sort of, somewhat in some respects, but no. I think that was a bridge too far for me too.
Bridge, that's right, Captain's Bridge.
Yeah, I mean, the premise is that Māori want to be involved at decision making at the most basic level of governance across the country, and I get that, and I think there's some very good justifications for that. But popping their head up on some
hang on, back up the bus. What justifications?
Oh, there is justification for them having. The treaty actually does allow for representation and Māori to be able to be walking alongside the rest of New Zealand. And
they all get a vote. They get the same rights as everyone else,
yeah. Look, I'm still going to carry on and advocate for them in this position, simply because I don't hold exactly the same views as you do.
See, the problem is, Tina, once we let you have, we're special, then it's not too far for some people to go, and we're special in space.
It's not special. To me, it's always been about standing alongside. And that's what it's about for me, and I'm happy to support that across this country. The more Māori stand alongside everybody else, that's fine.
Well, we all stand together, Tina.
On a lot of
we
things.
Stand together, not separately.
We stand together, that's right.
So why does there need to be any recognition of Maori if we're all standing in the same place, mate?
Because there is some long-standing cultural stuff that has been disrespected in the past.
Who by?
And, Pakeha have certainly disrespected stuff.
Oh, have we? Where? By signing a treaty and not subjugating
the use of waterways in New Zealand is a very classic example of how English used waterways as ditches and Māori used them as food sources.
Yeah, and they just strip mined them and then moved to the next river mouth round the coast for ages until they'd eaten everything, right?
What are you talking about?
Prehistory of Maori, early history of Maori.
Come on. I'm talking about stuff that has really made a big difference to the ongoing ecology of this.
Okay, Maurice, would you agree with me? Tina at one end of the scale says, "No, look, just a little bit, just give us a little bit of recognition for the terrible stuff done to us." If you do that, the bastards want to have the first seat on the space shuttle, don't they?
Well, when it all dates back to the issue that this lady called Pauline Harris, which is a terribly strong Maori name, says we've whakapapa back to outer space as a race, and therefore we should be included in all of the policy formulation. And I go, well, hang on, the Aztecs can whakapapa back to the sun. So when all solar energy is now being developed, do the Aztecs get a percentage cut of that? This is nonsense. This is sheer bloody nonsense. And for her to have been paid $40,000...
No, it's more like $172,000 we figured out.
Oh, you're kidding me.
And she didn't come up with the report on time. Then she went on breakfast television saying they hadn't been consulted while she was sitting on 172G from MB.
Putting the finishing touches to a report that never showed up. But honestly, this is what does Maori no service at all. Everybody, I think, even what Tina's saying, is there some validity to some of the waterways and the fisheries and so on that I think we should be listening to the views. They shouldn't get special rights or anything, but we should be listening to their views. How about a cabinet we've got in New Zealand right now, 35% Maori? Way beyond representation of what Maori is in the general public. Isn't that the way to go? They got there by going to the ballot box, getting voted and standing and winning their seats. How about that?